In this video, I'm going to talk about the second aspect of getting a joint on lock. Now, obviously I covered the tipping, right? And this is an integral part. Without the tipping, it doesn't work. Without this aspect, it doesn't work. It's a combination of the two elements that help you truly get a joint on lock. And this is how to connect emotionally with the key people. This is super, super key. And I can guarantee you would never see this information anywhere else. This is next level information, how to connect emotionally, right? Because the cash, like I talked about, is, you know, that's like the given part of getting a spot on lock, especially in the beginning, right? Okay, he tipped me, the doorman says he tipped me in the beginning. It's very respectful. Came back out when he left, said, "Carlos, thanks so much. Appreciate it, I definitely will be back. That's for you." Tipped me again, so now it's starting to get in his brain, wow, okay, that dude's legit. That doesn't happen. People don't do that. The bartender knows you're doing 50% tips for the initial night, right? Wow, this guy's a good tipper. Plus he's courteous, he doesn't get too drunk, he's cool with the other patrons. Like this guy's quality. Imagine if we had 50 people like this in here. I mean, it would just be amazing. It's not gonna happen. Most people are average or below average. They would never esteem to be like that, nor do they even know the information to do that. You're different because now you know. But how to connect emotionally. This is the next aspect of it. So there's three main ways to connect emotionally with the staff. And by staff, everyone from the bathroom attendant to the doorman, to the busser, to the bartender, to the bottle waitress or cocktail waitress, whatever, all the way up to the owner. And that's a whole other segment I'm going to be getting into, management and owners, because there's a little bit of a difference in how you deal with them, right? But how to connect emotionally, three main ways, right? There is three ways that you're going to do this. And I'm not going to give you specific questions because this is going to be specific to your situation, like what country you live in, what's appropriate, what's not appropriate. But I'm going to give you the concepts, and from the concepts you can create your own questions. And this is the key to connecting with people emotionally. So the first aspect is career outside of nightlife gig, right? Because the reality is most people that work nightlife have an extra job, right? Or they have a regular day job, or they have a regular dream or a regular goal, whatever, right? Their goal is not to be a bartender for life. There are people that enjoy being bartenders, and that's awesome. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But the reality is the majority of people do that as a side gig, or that's their main income, but during the day they're pursuing something else. Like in LA it would be acting or singing, like very common, or dance or whatever. So career outside of nightlife gig, right? What is it? Why? And motivation. I can tell you right now, these are the three core framework. From that is where you'll get your questions. What is it? That's right. So what is their main gig? What is their actual career outside of the nightlife gig? Why do they do that career? And what is their motivation for that career? Now, let me preface all this with saying that you're not going to go in and the first night be like, so Joe, you know, great place, you got a great place. He's like, yeah, man, it's awesome. You know, here's your drink. Oh, wow, 50% tip, awesome, boom, you know, cool. You know, you come back later and he jumps right to you despite the other people, you know, waving their arm at him, acting erratic, spastic, like they're gonna have a seizure. You're chill, right? Like, okay, you know, I got you. He comes over, boom. You're not gonna say, so what do you do outside of this? You wouldn't do that because that comes across insulting and demeaning, as though what he's doing isn't that great, so you've got to be doing something else. You see what I'm saying? You're approaching this in a very chill manner, because he's probably going to be like, oh, you in town for business, or what do you do? Right? So you say, I'm an online entrepreneur, or whatever you do. I'm a lawyer, I'm an accountant. And be like, so, is this your main gig, or do you got other stuff going on? Whatever. You're doing it in a friendly way, non-judgmental, very casual. This is very chill. You got to remember, these people don't know you. And here's some other sidebar. You might not necessarily get to all this the first night. You're probably not going to. But over the span of a month of consistently going every weekend, 4 to 5 times over the span of a month, you'll start to get some of this information. But don't push it. If it doesn't feel natural, then wait, right? Getting a spot on lock doesn't have to take a year, doesn't have to take 6 months. Generally, it's about a month to 2 months max that you can really have it on lock. They're going to know who you are. You're going to be taken care of. But really getting it on lock, in the sense of getting them connected emotionally, takes a little time, unless they tend to be very chatty and also dependent on your personality. Some people have the personality where they get people to just trust in them very easily, and people confide in them. They just have that type of personality. I know people, I'm thinking of people right now, who just have that personality, you want to tell them stuff, because they just have such a chill, non-judgmental way about them. So depending on how you are, is going to, and how they are, it will depend on how quickly this happens, but don't rush the process. Don't feel like, oh, I need to know what they do. I need to know why they do it. Why is their true motivation? What's their goals? What's their dreams? Who's in their family? Right off the bat, because what you're going to do is you're going to scare the cat, so to speak. You're going to freak it out. It's like you see a stray cat and you want to bring him in. You don't rush over and try to pick him up. You just put a little saucer of milk out there, and the fool's going to come by and slurp on the milk. He's going to get dependent on it, right? What's he getting dependent on? He's going to start getting dependent on those tips. Right? He might even start factoring his monthly budget, like, oh, I know he'll probably come in and drop 40 bucks, whatever. So as time proceeds, all of a sudden the cat gets cool with you. All of a sudden the cat's in your lap, you're petting him. In comparison, all of a sudden they're opening up to you, they're talking to you more. Before you know it, you and the cat, you and the bartender, you and the staff are now friends. So why do I have these 3 questions? These are all specific. When putting together this program, I looked back at all the joints that I put on lock all over the United States over the last decade, actually about 12 years now. What were the specific steps I took in order to get those people comfortable with me? What were the steps I took to get them to open up to me and take it from just a casual, superficial, service industry, customer level to a real, friendship level, to that sense of, when you go in there, you're going to be taken care of because you're essentially fam. Your family, right? Oh, him, he's fam. And it comes from this. Well, this is one of the 3 parts. But career outside nightlife gig, right? So you're wanting to, essentially, the core of this, you're wanting to get into what is their driving motivation in life, right? If it's outside, if they want to be a bartender and that's it, great. But most people don't. There's something else that they're pursuing. When you plug into that, that's when you're going to plug into their soul, their heart, their true emotions, what they're passionate about. And then why, right? So say you're talking to the bartender, he goes, nah, I also, I do cold calling during the day. Once again, cold calling is probably not his passion. It's probably not what he's driven to do in life. Maybe he's just working 2 gigs. He's got bills to pay, right? So you want to peel the onion a little more. There's layers to an onion, right? You want to peel it a little more. Oh wow, man, that's challenging. Like, how long have you been doing that, right? So you want to be relatable, and some of this, has to do with NLP and whatnot, but you're wanting to be relatable in the sense of the more that they feel you can empathize and you can relate, the more they're going to open up with you, right? So if you're like, oh, cold calling, yeah, that's pretty cool. Generally, no, it's not cool, right? That can be a very difficult job if you don't know what you're doing. So if you automatically said that, then the guy's gonna be like, actually, it fucking sucks. You totally don't get me. So this conversation is pretty much over. He's not saying that, but he's thinking it. So you want to dig a little deeper, be like, oh, cold calling, that's challenging. Yeah, how long have you been doing that? Dude, I've been doing it like 4 months. It sucks. I'm not gonna lie, it sucks. Like, this gig isn't bad being a bartender, but the cold calling, like, that shit is no joke. you know, ding, 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 right? So he has a challenge, and this is going to tie into another video I'm going to do on this, but how can you help him fix that? How can you be of service to him? How can you assist him in getting over his challenge? And that plays in a huge part when we get to the management and owners. But on a lower level, let's talk about the bartender example. Okay, you can make a mental note, and I would advise to make a fucking note in your phone, right? We all carry our phones. You talk a little bit more, whatever. You go to the bathroom. Hey, you're saying what's up to Harry, the bathroom attendant. I hope you're, man, I love your attitude. You have such great energy. Every time I come in here, you got a smile on your face. I love that about you. Right? Makes him feel fucking amazing. You're going around and you're like Santa Claus, dropping little gifts of positivity. But you wash your hands or whatever, you're in the bathroom, stoner, you make a quick note. You know, Daryl the bartender does cold calling during the day and he hates it. He says it's challenging. Okay, interesting. Right? So now you know one of his challenges, not necessarily a weakness, but it's a challenge, right? So now when you provide a solution, all of a sudden you became someone who made their life easier. And I'm gonna have to wait to the next video to get more into this, and we'll do that in the very next video.